Hello, hello, welcome.
I want to acknowledge that we are on the unceded territory of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh people. Um, my traditional name is Wapsi Pineshi Ikwe. It means white thunderbird woman. I was given the name by my grandmother.
So it's 20 years since that first starting point and the different iterations that have happened. Um, these stories are meant to be told and shared. This village that we have right here, and the village of our ancestors that are witnessing, and then the village of the ancestors of the territory that are witnessing. Yeah, exactly. A spiraling relationship that has been so much a part of the founding of this work. And Rose and her elevator. Yeah, yo, yeah, 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 yo, yeah, yeah, Ilea, yeah, Ilea, yeah, yo, Ilea, yeah, Ilea, yeah, yo. So, what is the Arrivals Legacy process? It started in its whisper stages. It started as an exercise that I invited students that I would be working with. I was teaching an intro to acting course at Concordia University in Montreal. And I knew that I would have an intercultural group of students and that everybody would be taking the class, and even if they didn't want to be an actor. So I thought, well, what would I have loved when I was in theater school? And so I invited them to choose an ancestor 2 or 3 or 4 generations away and to research that ancestor. And we were, because it was a theater program, there's Uda Hagen who does these character profiles. So we used that as a basis. They were going to create a character profile for their ancestor. That was the first step. Then I asked them to create an I story for their character, so to speak their character's story in the I voice. But the interesting thing about the exercise was I didn't want them to speak the story. I asked them to have 3 objects and that they could take 3 words that came out of their story or their research, and they could repeat those words. But I asked them to live in a compelling moment in time. So it could have been when their ancestor left home for the first time and either went overseas or across the land, a marriage, or the first time they met their intended, the love of their life. Really, really resonant moments that they could tap into as an emotional moment, and that they would research that moment by asking family members questions about the context. So time and space, where did they live, what was their life like. But also they had to find ways to ask questions of their parents or their relatives that wouldn't shut down the conversation. In my family, you have to be really, really delicate about getting information from the past, because when my parents immigrated in 1967 to Montreal with me at 3 years old and my sister at 4 years old, they wanted to leave home behind. They wanted to build a new life. So my curiosities about what it was like in the Caribbean was, oh, don't worry about that. Let's just focus on your studies, focus on this. And so there was this kind of burning need in me to know a little bit more about my roots. So asking questions of family members, they would often shut down. So, when we're doing this exercise, we ask questions like, oh, tell me a story of your parent, your grandmother. Tell me a story. And then you start to see the story reveal itself. And you don't go with a pen and paper or a recording device. You just listen and you sit with them and you breathe with them. And then some nugget comes out that sparks your heart. And you go, oh, that's interesting. What does that mean? And you start speaking as if, as if there's something awakening in you, so that this relationship starts to make their curiosity, deepen their curiosity, and it continues to bring this character that we started, this person to life in you. What was really incredible about this exercise, the first time I did it, I had the students journaling, was that they felt that the ancestor they chose was the ancestor they needed. They realized that family members who were helping them with their research started talking to each other. Maybe rifts were starting to get solved in some way. And that there was a conversation and a movement that was happening. So that was the first spark of this work. And then I started researching it. I was working with master's and PhD students in a course called Autobiography and Testimony. So I brought this work to them. So I was deepening the roots of the practice, and all was in this curiosity, what is this work? And then through that, I started to realize the power of the work. Fast forward to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which is where my father was from. I had never been there before. I went as an adult, actually when I was living here. We were taking a show to Guyana, so I had the opportunity to go to Trinidad to meet family members I hadn't met before, and then to land in St. Vincent. And I was at this gathering of indigenous peoples, they're called the Garifuna peoples, they're my people, in St. Vincent. And I started doing an exercise that I do in the work that we will do in a second. And I started with, imagine your feet. On the bottoms of your feet, there are little mouths on the bottoms of your feet. You can do that right now. If you want to take off your shoes, you're welcome to. I encourage you to. And just sit in such a way where you can feel your feet on the floor. And there are little mouths on the bottoms of your feet breathing the earth below. And as you open those little mouths to breathe in what's below us, you're opening up the possibility for story. So I'm saying this in this exercise. And for the first time, I'm on my home territory. I've done this exercise many times all over the world, imagining home when I do it. And it didn't even dawn on me until I'm in that moment. I'm on my home territory, breathing the ancestral stories through my feet and into my body. And we do the exercise, and we finish the exercise, and a Garifuna from Belize comes up to me, and she says, "This is what we do in our ceremonies." I still, to this day, don't know what this is, because I don't know. I don't know. I don't think what we're going to do today is what they do exactly. But there was something in the essence of the exercise that was what they do in their ceremonies. And prior to this, I had been searching for, where is home? Where is my spirit home? And it was that moment that I found that spirit home.